Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news at 1:30 this morning. Durham police found a man dead after a shooting. This is a live look at the neighborhood where investigators remain on the scene.
And the wind chill is anywhere from the mid-teens to around 20 this morning. Of course, that could set the stage for some wintry precipitation over the weekend. I'll show you what we're expecting.
Devastating wildfire as people in Southern California are running for their lives as strong winds spread those flames.
School data breach, how information about your children ended up as part of a cybersecurity incident. A lot to tell you about here on this Wednesday morning. We're so glad you're waking up with us. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making us part of your routine. And this cold weather has been part of it for a couple days. It'll stick around for another few days, maybe more, but clear at least for the next couple of days. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now before we start talking about this winter weather coming this weekend.
Yeah, all this cold air is going to set the stage for that. We take a live look here in downtown Raleigh. Haven't seen a lot of people walking around, a couple people out there, but boy, you need to be bundled up if you're going to be headed out anytime soon. 24 is our temperature. We now have a northeast wind at 3 miles per hour, and that's a very light wind, but it doesn't take much to kick in that wind chill. So it's 24 in Durham and Raleigh, but it feels like 20. It feels like 24 in Clinton, but it feels like 15 in Fayetteville and 17 in Southern Pines, 15 in Roxborough, 17 in Rocky Mount. So it's a really cold start. It feels even colder than it did yesterday. Highs only in the low 40s, but we'll see lots and lots of sunshine. And of course, our odds of wintry weather over the weekend continue to increase, watching the potential for this system to start as snow, but then change over to sleet and freezing rain for most folks, except up in the far north. Travel could get tricky on Friday night into Saturday morning, and there's the possibility of a few isolated power outages. A better chance of snow in the north down to Raleigh, and then a better chance for rain down to the south. We'll walk through what some of the scenarios are looking like and how much snow you could see where you are. Coming up, Ken.
All right, at 6:01, Elizabeth, all new into the WRAL traffic center. Here's what we got. This crash right here in northern Wake County. It's a serious crash, we're being told, on Buffalo Road in the westbound lane there, South Hall Road. It just happened. Right now, we're not seeing any delays in that particular area, but just be mindful of police activity if you happen to be navigating Buffalo Road this morning. But really, all our major routes are delay-free this morning, from Knightdale to Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, all delay-free at this hour. If you're getting ready to head out the door, 101.5 HD3, you can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
Ken, thanks. Schools in the Triangle will open as usual today, but some schools in the northern counties are on a delayed start because of the cold weather. Schools in Franklin County are delayed by 2 hours. Granville County schools are delayed by 3 hours. Mecklenburg County, Virginia schools are closed today. It will be a teacher workday there. And Vance County schools are on a 2-hour delay. The bitter cold this morning is just a taste of what is to come later this week. WRAL's Laura Levine joins us live from Hillsborough Street in Raleigh. And Laura, people are getting ready for the chance of winter weather this weekend.
Renee, good morning. The NCDOT says crews later this morning are going to be filling up those trucks with salt and brine, really preparing to treat the roads for this weekend. Meanwhile, here on Hillsborough Street, people are beginning their everyday routines, grabbing coffee, heading to work, and they're being welcomed with frigid temperatures, which is really setting us up for that wintry mix in 2 days. So after flurries popped up around our viewing area this week, residents are gearing up for more winter weather, possibly snow Friday night into Saturday morning. With how cold we are right now, anything that falls will stick and lead to slick roads Friday evening through Saturday morning. The WRAL meteorologists aren't expecting a major snowstorm. However, residents are still bracing for what's to come.
We have noticed the grocery stores have been more crowded the past yesterday and today, but yes, people hear weather's coming, they rush to the store, which I guess is a good idea.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Meanwhile, Insurance Commissioner Mike Causey, he's also warning about heating equipment and fire hazards during this cold snap. It's important to make sure that you also have working smoke alarms in your home. Additionally, drivers are encouraged to stay off the roads, especially when things get really icy and could cause some hazardous conditions on the roads. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And breaking news we've been following the overnight hours. A man is dead after a shooting in Durham. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at that scene on Lyons Court in Durham. Kelsey, this happened around 1:30 this morning.
Yes, Jeff, a heavy police presence here for the last several hours. Police have been focusing their investigation on this home in a cul-de-sac on Lions Court here in Durham. Durham Police's mobile command unit and forensics arrived earlier to the scene. Take a look at this video captured by the WRAL breaking news tracker. Police received a call about this around 1:30 this morning. When they arrived, they found one man shot to death, and we're working to find out his name. Police say this is an isolated incident and there's no threat to the public, and we'll be sure to keep you updated on the search for the shooter. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
We have a live look for you right now. North Carolina Legislative Building, downtown Raleigh. At noon today, state lawmakers will be back on the job to begin the 2025 session. Republicans still control both chambers of the General Assembly, but they no longer have that veto-proof majority. Governor Josh Stein's veto power could become a factor during budget negotiations. GOP lawmakers may be forced to work with him or get support from enough Democratic lawmakers to come up with a budget that would avoid a veto. Helene relief will be a major topic in the legislature. Recovery is estimated to cost more than $50 billion. That equals the entire annual state budget plus an additional $20 billion. That could affect funding for the school voucher program after lawmakers put hundreds of millions of dollars toward it last year. It could also affect increases in teacher and state employee pay.
Raleigh firefighters are looking into what caused a fire at an apartment complex. This is video taken by the WRAL breaking news tracker of the large response at the apartments on the Lakes Drive. Firefighters got there around 7 p.m. and had the fire under control in 30 minutes. No injuries were reported. Officials say about 20 people are out of their homes. The cause of the fire is under investigation, but firefighters tell us it appears to have started in a utility closet on the roof.
Not under control here. New this morning, 3 wildfires are now burning out of control near Los Angeles. This is a live look at one of them right now. The Eaton fire sparked early this morning while fire crews were also trying to get a hand on the Palisades fire. A third fire also sparked just a few hours ago. Chris Levengood is taking a look at all of this in the WRAL Live Center. And Chris, it's hard not to keep coming back to this video. Really jarring.
I mean, it really is when you look at it, Jeff. I mean, we have a couple of videos here on the feeds that we're monitoring on our NBC News channel. Let's look at this one right here just to show you. I can put it in full screen. A reporter showing this video right here. Do you see the intensity of those flames, the smoke that is billowing there? I actually saw one reporter that had, it looked like a face mask on, even covering their eyes, because the logical conclusion here is that the ash moving around the air, the soot, this is something you don't want to breathe in, obviously. And we know that officials there say the Palisades fire is burning through about 5 football fields per minute. Think about that. Strong winds are also helping the spread, which is no good. A state of emergency has been declared in LA, but officials warn the worst is yet to come. And there are even crews that are battling what they call tornado-like winds as they race to save homes and other buildings. To be clear, more than 30,000 people have been told to evacuate. And whereas some fires haven't seen any injuries, the Palisades fire, at least one firefighter did receive a head injury, and people are being burned during this.
Chris, thank you. Student and teacher data was compromised in a breach that hit cloud-based school information database PowerSchool. PowerSchool says the breach began December 16th and was discovered on December 28th. It says all information that was compromised has been isolated and destroyed. PowerSchool works with more than 18,000 schools nationwide, including schools in North Carolina. A spokesperson says it has taken steps to prevent unauthorized access of misuse of its data.
Owners of the House of Art bar in downtown Raleigh believe this surveillance video right here shows someone starting the fire that burned this venue. In the video, you see a woman there in the white leaving the area, and then a short time later, you see smoke coming from the building. The fire early yesterday morning badly damaged that venue. It is more than just a bar. It's a creative space for local musicians and artists. We spoke to the bar's DJ, who says he looks forward to this community hub finding its pulse once again.
It's like a home away from home. Even though you walk in here and you don't know anybody, it just feels like family. Definitely is going to get back to that and done something. So it's just minor setback for a major comeback.
A GoFundMe account has been established to help rebuild the bar. It's already raised more than $17,000, and a benefit concert is also planned for next Tuesday night.
Today, the state's new superintendent of public instruction will attend his first state Board of Education meeting. Mo Green is due to address the board for the first time during the second day of their meeting tomorrow. Today, the board will discuss proposed accountability rules for colleges of education. They will also get an update on the name, image, and likeness policy for student athletes. The meeting gets started at 10 this morning. We'll let you know what comes out of it.
Former President Jimmy Carter is being remembered in our nation's capital, and this is a live look at his casket lying in state inside the rotunda. His casket arrived there yesterday by horse-drawn carriage. Lawmakers shared their memories before opening up comments to the public. Carter's body will lie in state through tomorrow morning, and then there will be a service for him at Washington National Cathedral.
To observe President Carter's National Day of Mourning tomorrow, the U.S. Postal Service is suspending regular mail delivery on Thursday. All post office locations will be closed as well. USPS will still accept and process mail dropped by commercial mailers at mail processing facilities. Operations will return back to normal on Friday. The New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ will also be closed tomorrow. It is 6:10 on your Wednesday. A nurse attacked on the job.
Honestly, looking at her, helping her today, it has broken my heart.
How she says a patient beat her and the change her family wants to see.
Wildfire evacuations, the urgent search for safety people in California are facing.
And it's a cold start out there this morning. Our wind chills are in the teens to 20s. As you're heading out the door, we're also going to talk more about what our snow and sleet potential is for the weekend.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:13, we take a live look here at Durham. It is all clear. It's a dark and cold morning, though. Take a look at our temperatures town by town. It's just 21 in Lewisburg, 22 Tarboro, 20 in South Hills, 17 in Southern Pines. These temperatures are colder than they were yesterday, but yesterday we were also in the 20s. So, I don't know. Can you tell the difference between 22 and 28? I don't know. It's all cold. Our wind chill, it makes it feel like 17 in Southern Pines, 15 in Fayetteville, 17 Rocky Mount, and 14 in Roxborough. So the wind chills are a little bit colder this morning as well. If you're headed out for exercise, you really may not want to do anything outside this morning. It's just so bitterly cold. Even this afternoon, temperatures will be in the low 40s, so just be careful out there. We are looking, of course, at the potential to see some wintry mix as we get into the weekend. We'll check that out coming up.
6:14 Elizabeth, happening now at the WRAL Traffic Center. We're not getting any reports of any crashes right now on any of our major roads, which is really good news. Listen, if you take any of these major routes, US 1 coming in from Wake Forest, I-87 from Nightdale and all points east, it's a delay-free at this hour, which is really good news. If you're getting ready to head out the door, and Durham is your destination this morning, all the major routes into the Bull City are delay-free at this hour. Of course, you're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. We'll keep you updated.
A nurse in Moore County is recovering after she was brutally attacked while trying to assist a patient. Crystal Thompson says a patient at First Moore Health Regional attacked her early Monday morning. She says the patient put her in a chokehold and slammed her head against the floor. She was left with a broken leg. She isn't ready to speak publicly about it just yet, so her daughter stepped in to advocate for her.
I want to see a lot of change with the healthcare world. If they get attacked at work, I would love to see them being able to go about this a different way.
Well, the Thompson family did not identify the patient, but court documents obtained by WRAL identify her as 35-year-old Carla Hardy. She was arrested at the hospital. Thompson's friends launched a GoFundMe account in support of her recovery.
Explosive California wildfires are forcing evacuations for tens of thousands of people right now. At a Pasadena care home, workers race to evacuate elderly residents with the fire just a block away. WRAL's Michelle McConaughey is here now with more on what they had to do to move those residents. Michelle.
Oh, Renee, this is just so devastating for so many people. The senior center was forced to evacuate their residents in wheelchairs and hospital beds. This is a live look in Pasadena right now, just to show you the severity of the situation. evacuation, but some of those in the nursing home did not even have shoes, only their socks on in the rush to leave. They were taken to a nearby parking lot as flames spread blocks away. Workers tending to residents, covering them up from the wind. The Eaton fire in Altadena is now 400 acres. It doubled in size in less than an hour.
It's tough. It's tough. They can't get up. They're stuck on the wheelchairs. We got to lift them up, put them in the vans, and then take the wheelchairs at the same time. So we got to get everybody out of here.
And workers said they were trying to evacuate about 95 people, some being wheeled in gurneys. Now, several movie premieres in California have been canceled today. The SAG Awards in-person nominations announcement, that was also canceled. Nominees will be unveiled this morning via press release and also on the SAG Awards website.
We've seen reporters on places like Sunset Boulevard you'd never expect, but it is happening right now there. Michelle, thank you. Wake County Schools updated its threat assessment policies. That's when people report a concern about things like self-harm and bullying, and then school officials investigate those things. Wake County has had those teams in place for 3 years now, but need to make a few changes to comply with a 2023 state law. Teams assessed 1,751 threats last school year, about the same as the first 2 years.
Imagine watching the Carolina Hurricanes play from an upper deck bar or hanging out in a floor level bunker suite at halftime of a Wolfpack basketball game. Those concepts and more are coming to Lenovo Center next year after a Centennial Authority Committee approved the first phase of the $300 million renovation to the arena. Final approval of the plans is expected Friday, and construction is set to start this summer.
6:18 the time right now, midweek, but we are keeping an eye on what's happening this weekend. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Clear until then, though, Elizabeth.
You know, once the sun comes up, it's really going to be pretty. It's going to look and feel very much like yesterday with that deep blue sky. It is clear in Fayetteville, Raleigh, and Apex, Chapel Hill as well. Chapel Hill's courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. Of course, temperature-wise, it feels somewhat like yesterday, but even a little bit colder. The wind chill is making it feel colder than it did yesterday. 17 in Southern Pines, wind chills over here in the white box. 15 in Fayetteville, 17 Rocky Mount, 14 in Roxborough and South Hill. Feels like 20 degrees right here in the Triangle. So it is cold, cold, cold out there. All this cold air is setting the stage for the best chance of snow that we've seen in 1,075 days. Absolutely crazy. January 29th, 2022 was the last time we saw a half an inch or so of snow. So here's what's coming. We do have a good chance of seeing snow, even as far south as Fayetteville, but the amounts will probably be around an inch, you know, with some variation. More snow in the north, less snow in the south. You know, the typical setup that we see here. We are likely to see sleet and freezing rain, and that will start to mix in by early Saturday morning, especially from the Triangle area southwards. So that limits the amount of snow that we may see. So where's our storm now? Moving into Arizona, about 2,000 miles away from us. We still have a lot of data to collect before it arrives here. So the closer we get to Friday, the more accurate our forecast will be. Here's a look at Futurecast. At lunchtime on Friday, that snow is back to our west. And on this version of Futurecast, we're dry right at 5 o'clock. By 7 or 8 o'clock, we start to see the snow spreading across the area. By the time we get to midnight, it starts to change over down here in Fayetteville. And by 2 a.m., it's changing over in the Triangle. And that changeover means some sleet, some freezing rain. It starts to pull away from us around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. So let's talk about what some of those totals could look like. The European model shows anywhere from half an inch in Fayetteville to an inch and a half to 2 inches for parts of the viewing area. The GFS is much lighter. Very little accumulation of snow in Fayetteville, but potentially 1 to 2 inches across the northern part of the viewing area. We also have the potential for some ice accumulation, and that means that we could see some isolated power outages. We're continuing to watch this coming up in just a little while. We'll talk more about some of the timeline for the system coming in, and of course the temperatures, which will be quite cold between now and then. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, at 6:20, let's start in Wake County, the Raleigh area. The Beltline is free and clear this morning. All the surrounding major routes are delay-free as well. Let's isolate Durham, Chapel Hill, Hillsborough this morning. I-40, I-85, I-885, all free and clear this morning. Nothing to report. Bringing it back to Wake County, I-40, the Beltline, part of your morning commute this morning. No delays whatsoever to report, which is good news if you're about to head out the door this morning. And if you are getting ready to head out the door, do us a favor. We'll keep you updated on the radio. 101.5 HD3 will keep you covered.
Ken, thanks. New information about the Cybertruck explosion that rocked Las Vegas. How investigators say the man who blew up the truck used ChatGPT as he planned.
Pilots on the picket line. Why they're calling for Allegiant Air to give them more pay.
And here's a look at your winning lottery numbers. We'll be back with what's trending.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
McDonald's has a new muscle-bound spokesperson.
Yeah, you may need to stock up on some of your favorite Girl Scout cookies as well before they disappear. Ken Smith's here now with What's Trending on a Wednesday, Ken.
Yeah, Jeff and Renee, you say Girl Scout cookies? I'm in. But we begin this segment with John Cena promoting McDonald's new value menu. In an interview, Cena said his go-to order is 2 double cheeseburgers and 2 6-piece chicken McNuggets. I'm partial to the fish fillet sandwich myself.
Look at him with the cardigan there. Just chowing on his favorite meal there, the cheeseburger. You know, if you put that all together, what his favorite order is, it's almost 1,400 calories. But hey, listen, that guy's been.
I don't think he's worrying about calories.
No. Yeah. He works out more in a day than I have in a year, right?
Exactly. Hey, Girl Scout cookies trending this morning. The Girl Scouts will be out soon selling those delicious cookies. But here's what you need to know. 2 flavors are going away. The s'mores and the Toast Yay cookies will be discontinued when supplies run out.
So I looked up the North Carolina chapter of Girl Scouts to see which cookies will be offered in our area. And they are still offering the Toast Yays. So s'mores are gone. And of course, they have the Thin Mints, the peanut butter patties, the caramel delights. Love those. And they have Adventurefuls. Those are like brownie cookies with caramel drizzle and sea salt. And you can start putting your orders January 18th.
I've got that date circled.
Get your Toast Yay before they run
your
out.
Girl Scout connections,
Right.
yes. Burger chain Whataburger is coming to North Carolina. It broke ground yesterday on a location in Hickory. The chain has plans for at least 7 other locations later this year. The closest to us will be in Greensboro.
More than 880 people called in to get their health care questions answered during 5 on Your Side's Affordable Care Act call-in event. The NC Navigator Consortium can still help you get signed up for a Marketplace health plan or Medicaid. You can call and make an appointment or stop by one of their upcoming walk-in clinics. All those details are on WRAL.com.
Grab the big puffy coat, headed out the door. Our temperatures are in the 20s. It's even 17 right now in Southern Pines. I'll show you what it will feel like with the wind chill, and we'll check in on the wintry weather for the weekend.
Wake County school leaders say they are not planning a total in-school cell phone ban. Their next steps as they try to amend their policy.
The equivalent of 5 football fields being destroyed per minute. Coming up next in the WRAL Live Center, an up-close look at the California wildfires.